Hello everyone. Hope we're doing good out there, doing our self-isolation, being safe. So I'm still reviewing my photos from Costa Rica, and this is another watch and learn tutorial. So we were walking down this road and a truck came barreling by, kicking up lots of dust, and I immediately saw the sunlight beaming through the trees and went, wow. Fortunately, I was shooting a lot of high contrast images similar to this before the truck came. So I had as shot, I had a darker one, and I had a very light one. So I had essentially my camera set to HDR mode, and I was snapping off 3 images at a time. Bang, 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 bang. So it's nice to be prepared or be lucky, depending on your perspective. So I'll take these 3 images, and I'll just go into here, and I'll just photo merge into HDR, and watch it do its magic. Now, when we're done here, I'll actually show you, had I not had HDR and I just had my very first image and not the other 2, we probably would get a similar result. I mean, the dynamic range is high here, but not so high as to be impossible. So there's my image. I prefer to leave auto align on. I don't turn on auto settings. I like to do those myself afterwards. So merge those images together. And up here, I see a progress bar that says I'm creating my HDR image. And you can kind of click on that and see what's going on. And these are all the background tasks that are happening. So it's performing the merge. And now it's going to perform the 2 operations progress. I don't know what the other one is. Well, it's syncing. Then the other thing is building the previews. There we go. So here's my HDR image. You can see up here it's a HDR DNG file. So let's brighten up the highlights to start with. There we go. And pump up the contrast a little bit. Now I want some of this texture down here to be really, I want the smoke to really show. So I'm just going to increase the texture, increase the clarity. That's not bad. Now the trees are getting too bright, so I'll bring down the shadow a little bit more. Somewhere around there. Now this was sunset, so I remember this being particularly sort of orangey and warm. I'm not seeing that at this moment, so I will probably add a little bit of warmth to this thing right now. That's probably better. I'm liking this already. Good. I'm going to rotate it a little bit. It looks like the trees are a little off-center. The road kind of looks like it's dipping, so I'm going to just flatten this a little bit. Now I picked up a little bit of that white in the corner. I've got to make sure I get rid of that or fill it in, but I'm just going to try to do this in Lightroom so I don't have to go flipping over to Photoshop. I'm essentially lazy, so I've learned Lightroom quite well because I don't really want to have to flip to Photoshop all the time. So that's not bad at all. I think I'm going to give this a little bit more of a color punch. One of the things I like to do with landscapes is put some punch into the highlights. Let's take a nice bright color. I'm going to hold the Alt key down, and then I'm just going to slide this and go, oh, right about there, maybe something yellowy for that light. And then in the highlights, let's see. I mean, you can do all kinds of weird things, but I want this to look more natural. Maybe a little bit of orange in there. Okay, so now I'm going to boost the saturation up in both cases to a point where I'm happy with it. That's probably a little too much. Bring this one down. There we go. And then we can shift from focusing on just the highlights to focusing on the, there we go, right about there. It's not bad. Maybe a little too much dark on the sides. I think I'll bring that down a little bit. Yeah, I think I like the balance here a little bit better. Let's do that. Let's see, the road is kind of, your eye comes in, follows these lines down to the road, and it kind of follows the road out of the photo. So I think I'm going to take this, bring up the size of my brush. So I'm painting at 100% flow, 100% density, about half feathered, and I'll just paint the road quickly. And I'll hit the O key and see if I got it all. I can do some erasing over here. I hold the Alt key down to erase. I think I missed a little bit over there. Okay, so I hit the O key, and the O key's coming out red. I can make it Shift O, and I can make it green or white or any other color I want. So I pick a color that gives me some contrast, hit the letter O. So if yeah, I can do that, make the road a little darker, maybe take away some of the highlights. Yeah, I think that so let me take it off and put it on again, Control Z. Yeah, I think I like my eye stopping here, maybe taking into this plant. This plant's looking a little bit bright. I'm just going to take this, tone this down a little bit. Just going to draw a circle. I'm going to go to the inside of the circle and take off some of the highlights on that plant. There you go. Maybe give it some dehaze, yeah, something like that. That's pretty good. These patterns are a little uneven. There must have been a tree or something creating this darker branch here. So let me play with this. I'm going to hit a dot, and I'm going to try to follow the same line. Actually, I'm going to reduce the size. And I'm going to go from up here somewhere. Then I'm going to hit the Shift key. And I'm trying to follow the same lines down to right about there somewhere. And let's take away some haze. No, that's adding. Yeah, so just take away a little bit of haze there. Reduce the size of my, maybe another little one here to here to here. I think I hit that accidentally. Well, there we go. So that kind of just, you know what? I'm trying to guess. No, I don't like that one. It didn't quite follow the same line as the others. That one still seems to be there, so I'll try moving this a little bit over. Nope, still not right. How about over here? No, not right. So I think this dot is wrong. I'm going to do another undo. I'll just start fresh. New. And try to follow these things out here. Boom. Okay, so I clicked. So I have a line there. If I hit O, you can see where the line is. That's actually not bad. And let's just remove some dehaze there. Oh, sorry, I'm adding a little bit. Okay, and I think my feather is not quite enough. I'm going to feather more. Bump this up, and let's do one from about here to there. And in this case, I want to add some, whoops. Oh, I'm still continuing on the previous one. Ha ha ha. All right, that's good. Try another new one. From here to there. And take a little bit of dehaze away. What's happening here? I don't think I got 2 points. Undo this one. And undo that one. And try that again. Click here. Follow this up to about here somewhere. Shift and click. And something like that. So I'm just kind of adding some variations. Another new one. And from here to maybe up here. All right, can play with this all day. But so let's go to our first starting point. That's what we had. That's where we ended up. Might be a little too warm. We can take the saturation down. Close this. Open up basic. Let's bring the saturation down a little bit. Bring up the vibrance. I like vibrance better than I like saturation. And before and after. There we go. So that gives me something I like, and I was lucky I was there. So now I'm going to copy all of this, Control-Shift, copy, and I'm going to copy everything, including the local adjustment brushes, the crop, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll say copy. And now I'm going to go back to my very first image. And so this is the very first exposure without the HDR. And I'll just try applying this. It should be close enough that everything should line up. And so even without the HDR, I got quite an acceptable image. I can do both, hit Control N, and let's see which is which. Whoops, wrong one. Yeah, so they look very similar. This looks a little bit sharper. It's maybe the HDR. Let me hit the C for compare mode. No, actually this one's sharper. That's interesting. Okay. Let's just go back here. So I'll probably look at this a little more carefully to decide which I like, but I suspect I'm going to give this one a 4-star and give this one a 3-star, and then I'll probably get rid of the extraneous ones that I don't need anymore and move on and look at some of the others. Hope that was interesting. As always, stay safe.